Hey everyone, George Christie here with Wine Industry Network. Super excited to interview our next guest, Adolfo Rebughini. Adolfo is the General Manager for Veronafiere S.p.A. They're the producers of Vinitaly.USA. They're going to be back in Chicago this October for the third year, and very excited to have Adolfo here with us to talk a little bit about what we can expect, some of the changes, some of the producers that are going to be at the event, and all the reasons why you need to be in Chicago this October for Vinitaly.USA. I'm also going to pick his brain a little bit, some of the challenges that we're facing as a global wine industry and his thoughts on that as well. So I think you're going to enjoy this interview. I know that I am. Adolfo, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Really looking forward to this conversation. We got the press release about Vinitaly.USA coming back to Chicago. So I want to talk about that. But before we get into it, for those in our audience that may not be familiar with Vinitaly.USA, talk a little bit about that. What's this event about?
All right, so Vinitaly has a primary mission that is promoting the excellence of Italian wine making industry globally. We're running the original Vinitaly in Verona every springtime, roughly, and that is the #1 show worldwide representing the Italian wine industry. The next one is going to be the edition number 58. So we can say we have an extensive market know-how about all these dynamics because we're running this show since quite a while. You're right, we're coming to Chicago for the second time. Actually, it's the third time because the first one we've been there, I would say undercover, not using the Vinitaly brand. Last year, we decided to use Vinitaly and just to share how special it is to us. We're using Vinitaly only twice, in Verona and in the US, because the other shows we're doing about wine globally, that is in South America and in China, those are called Wine to South America, Wine to Asia. So we're not using the Vinitaly brand, but given the significance of the market in the US, we decided to use Vinitaly. So we're promoting the excellence of Italian wine for the American market, but we're also promoting Vinitaly tourism. That is our wine tourism focus, and also extra virgin olive oil. Usually we're coupling these three products together wherever we're going abroad, and therefore whoever is visiting Chicago October the 5th and the 6th could enjoy these three products together.
What made you decide to go back to Chicago versus picking another city?
So first one is definitely a decision that is related to sustainability, in the sense that last year we had a success, roughly 230 exhibitors. This year we're approaching the same number, probably a little bit more than that, but we increased the quality of our exhibiting floor quite significantly, because last year, if I measure, let's call them tier 1 or top tier producers, we only had a bunch, probably 4 or 5. This year were more than 20. And with top tier, I mean the Antinori, Frescobaldi, the Planeta, so this type of producers, okay, Ferrari and so on and so forth. So more top tier producers, there's more content in terms of market analysis, and despite everything that went through, let's call it market turbulence, uncertainty, tariffs, and so on, we collected all across the board consensus from everybody we spoke to, in terms of distributors, importers, producers, everybody said, look, we want to keep on investing in the US market. It is time to sustain and strengthen our relationship with the US. Therefore, we got to go there. Let's go back to Chicago. And then we're calling it Vinitaly.USA. So it is not Vinitaly Chicago, because from Chicago, we would like to reach the broadest possible audience. So maybe next year we're going to be in Chicago, maybe we're going to be elsewhere. We're keeping an open mind. But other than that, you can rest assured we're going to be in the US for a while.
Tell me a little bit about some of the educational sessions that people are going to have the opportunity to be a part of at the event.
That's a very good question, because Vinitaly also has like a fourth leg that is education and market analysis dynamics. So this year, this is a novelty compared to the edition we ran in 2024. We decided to move Wine to Wine, that is a business forum we're hosting, or we were used to host in Verona in November every year. We're moving it entirely to the US. This business forum will see the presence of everybody who's in the know about the wine industry, meaning people who will talk logistics, people who will talk about the market dynamics, people who will talk about new products, new market trends, but also there's going to be the announcement of who are going to be the next participant to the 2026 edition of OperaWine. That is basically the preview event we're running the day before Vinitaly in Verona. And that list is basically handpicked by Wine Spectator. So we're going to be having also the presence of Wine Spectator announcing this list. That to us, it's a big deal, because you'll see the presence of roughly 150-ish top Italian producers. And therefore, having this announcement in such a global stage like Vinitaly.USA is very, very important. But we're investing a lot. So alongside normal dynamics in terms of marketplace, we're going to be having plentiful of forums and masterclasses, everything to educate about wine and the latest trends. This is something we strongly believe in. Therefore, we're putting a lot of effort in this.
How many attendees are you expecting to attend? Do you have a kind of a goal for yourself on the attendee side, and what might they find that is new this year?
So when we decided to pick Navy Pier as a location, we were thinking about an iconic place, something that is downtown, that is not the typical fairground. Because other than that, we would have picked something else like McCormick, for example. So we decided to stay at Navy Pier this year as well. Last year, I think we clocked something in the region of 2,000 visitors, considering that it is mostly a B2B event. So only on the second day, only on basically late Monday, we're opening up to the general public for whoever wants to, buy a ticket and enjoy some very good Italian wine. But I mean, I would say it's a smaller version of Vinitaly, so you get the full experience of what you could have here in Verona,
right?
But a smaller version. Therefore, our aim would be to beat the numbers of last year. If we can get anywhere close to 3,500 visitors, so 3,500-ish, something like that, I think we would be happy. But I think measuring the success of Vinitaly.USA just by number of visitors, certainly it is an important number, but there's more than meets the eye, I would say.
Yeah, no, I imagine it's really about the quality of the attendees, right? So who can you get?
Yeah.
The sommeliers, the importers, distributors, the retailers, right? I mean, I imagine that's your target. But I do love that there's a consumer component, right? Because I think for a lot of wine consumers, they don't have the opportunity to have the exposure to some of these beautiful wines that come from Italy. So I think having something like that is a nice addition. And I think the Pier is such a cool place to do this. I mean, people are going to love it. And it's just, Chicago's a fun city.
Chicago is a fun city, and also considering that we're really getting close to the announcement of having the Italian cuisine officially enshrined, if I could say that, into the UNESCO World Heritage list. There's going to be also a gala dinner, very likely touching this very important topic. Therefore, we're creating a story where there's Italian wine, clearly an excellent product, a strategic industry for our country, then tourism, clearly another excellent product. Italy is more famous for that, and usually, wine producers, they produce wine in beautiful places, so we want to showcase that as well, but also pairing with food. So it's the full loop represented in one show, where clearly nothing will steal the show from wine. But then there are other very important and interesting topics that will be touched at the same time.
Well, I think that's great. I mean, I think That's just part of the education, right? The wine and the food and everything around that, right? To create that full rounded experience. I think that's important. I want to
Yeah.
I want to ask you a little bit about your thoughts on just the current state of our industry. I know that that across the globe, we're having challenges with engaging with younger consumers. We're certainly experiencing that here in the United States. Talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on that, and maybe what we as an industry, as a global industry, could be doing differently or better.
Yes, I think first of all, you need to be serious about these things. So you got to look into numbers, but and rightfully you should be positively concerned, but you should not like throw yourself under the bus because wine producing is something that survives centuries. So it's a very long-lasting industry that went through several crises. If you consider that every single time you harvest, it could be several challenges, weather, many things could go wrong, and so I think it's an industry that is very much used to challenges, and usually they win these kind of challenges. So clearly, this is a change. Probably some producers will suffer from consumptions or a shift in consumption, but this I'm very confident will create space for innovation and maybe new products. Then I am not sure whether new products will be low alcohol, no alcohol, or something different. Maybe Italy is taking a different approach to no alcohol. So, for example, you cannot use the DOCG label if you're producing no alcohol. Therefore, it's harder for you to state what kind of grape and where this grape is coming from in terms of territory and so on and so forth. And this is a big deal to us because we have such a diversified production in terms of grapes, because we have something like 700 different types of grapes. And to put it in perspective, I think it's 200 times more than France. So factoring in everything, you have to stay focused on the opportunity. I think it's a good time to be brave in taking new approaches, and I think you need to kind of reconquer the heart of especially the youngsters, with many beautiful stories of many families who put everything they had in that single glass. So this is very fascinating, especially when you're bringing wine abroad. But you gotta do it together with training, education, and teaching how to do things. So I'm very confident there's going to be the opportunity to make wine a little bit more modern, probably a little bit less upper class, without losing all the legacy and the iconic state of this. That is something I think it's not just about drinking wine, it's having an experience and creating memories. Because if you are having a glass with your significant one or just friends, probably you're going to be remembering that memory way more than what you had in the glass. But what you're drinking is enabling you to have this memory. And this is something extraordinary that is harder to find with other drinks. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I like to tell people, I feel like we will look back on this period with a lot of pride, right? Because I think it is driving innovation. It's sort of, I think, weeding out the people that maybe just don't have the energy anymore, but that brings in fresh energy. And I also agree with you. It's really about the experience, and more often than not, to your point, it's not, you don't really remember what wine you were drinking, but you remember the people that you were with. You remember where you were. You have that experience, and then I think that is something that I don't want to say we've lost, but maybe we've sort of forgotten a little bit. Things have been very good for a long time. So I think you're right. I think that we're at a period of innovation, and we're going to look back on it with a lot of pride as we work our way through it.
Also, you have to consider that the wine industry in general in Italy we're coming out of almost 40 years of kind of unlimited and unprecedented growth.
Yeah.
So now I get it that producers are not used to some sort of, change in market dynamics. So we probably need to relearn certain things that we gave for granted for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Adolfo, thank you so much for being with us today. For those of the either trade, media, or consumer who are interested in attending Vinitaly.USA, where do they go? Where should they go?
So there's easiest way would be to Google Vinitaly.USA and you find everything online. We are having an app that is used to register to masterclasses. Or you can basically get back to us, Vinitaly.USA at Veronafiere.it. That would be the email address if you want to reach us directly.
Well, great. Well, thanks so much for being with us today. Good luck with the event. It sounds great. And I wish I could attend myself. Maybe I will.
Well, consider yourself invited.
Okay. Thank you, Adolfo.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks again, Adolfo. That was fantastic. For those of you that are interested in getting more information, you can go to vinitalyusa.com. Again, the event is October 5th and 6th, 2025 on the Navy Pier in Chicago. Once again, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the interview.